The country, tackling the topics everyone is talking about online. Share, engage, and interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Good Thursday morning, or as I like to call it, Friday, Junior. You're one day away from the weekend, and I'm so glad that you're joining us for Newsfeed Now. I'm your host, Hillary Hunt. Over the next 15 minutes, we're going to be talking about President Joe Biden's move to combat gun violence and a couple's search for a surrogate. And what about this? Old Navy responding to a little girl who simply asked for a change in their clothing. And boy, has that gone viral. But we want to start with some news, some really sad news out of South Carolina. 4 family members and another person killed in what deputies are calling a mass shooting this morning. York County officials say multiple people were shot Wednesday afternoon. The victims have now been identified as 70-year-old Dr. Robert Leslie, his wife, 69-year-old Barbara, and their 2 grandchildren, 9-year-old Ada and 5-year-old Noah. We're also told 38-year-old James Lewis also died after being shot. A 6th person was also reportedly hit, but their condition is unknown at this time. According to the Associated Press, former NFL pro Philip Adams was the gunman. Of course, this story is still developing, and we will bring you the latest as we know it. And in New York, authorities say a 9-year-old girl called 911 on her birthday after her dad fatally shot her mom and 2 siblings before turning the gun on himself. Allison Caden explains how neighbors are really coming together after this tragedy.
We all here together, trying to pull together. And I'm just praying for the family.
Community activists are at the Van Dyke houses today offering counseling. Neighbors learning of a tragic triple murder-suicide in 362 Sutter Avenue. A 9-year-old girl's family is killed in their apartment on her birthday.
The body-worn camera of her calling 911 just breaks your heart. Where she's saying, "Daddy's coming for my birthday. He didn't bring presents."
Police say 46-year-old Joseph McCrimmon of Mount Vernon murdered 45-year-old Rashida Barze in her 4th-floor apartment at about 11:15 last night. He also allegedly killed her daughters, 16-year-old Chloe Spears and 20-year-old Soleil Spears. The NYPD says McCrimmon shares a daughter with Barze, the 9-year-old birthday girl. She is the only survivor. McCrimmon was found nearby outside the building dead. He had killed himself. Cops found 2 firearms at the scene, one on McCrimmon and one near his body.
I spent this morning watching body camera video of that terrible incident last night in Brooklyn. It would tear your heart out to see the young girl from that crime.
Police continued their investigation today, looking for a motive. They say family tells them McCrimmon was agitated before he arrived at the apartment, where he allegedly took 3 lives and then his own.
My interaction with the young lady last night, she's a tremendously brave young lady, very smart, very bright, and we're going to do all we can to ensure she has a bright future.
My heart breaks for that little girl, but what a brave girl calling 911. Well, let's talk about this. After a wave of mass shootings in recent weeks, President Joe Biden will unveil a series of executive actions this morning to combat gun violence in America. Anna Warnicki has more for us.
After the 2 mass shootings in Atlanta and Colorado, President Joe Biden says it's time to take action.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps.
On Thursday, the president is expected to detail a total of 6 new actions that aim to increase federal community violence intervention and close some federal gun loopholes, including stopping the spread and manufacture of ghost guns, a rule to ban handguns that are modified with arm or shoulder straps, expanding red flag laws, and investing in community-based intervention programs.
This is not, it should not be a partisan issue.
Senior administration officials say Thursday's announcement is just the initial steps that would be followed by additional actions later on, including applying pressure on lawmakers to act. But passing any gun reform in an evenly split Senate will be difficult. South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says he opposes Democrats' push to ban assault weapons.
I'm willing to have a conversation with my Democratic colleagues about how we can make sure that people who are a danger to themselves or others, I am willing to expand background checks in a common sense way.
That was Alexandra Limon reporting for us out of our nation's capital. And here's what we know right now. We want to talk about the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. Countries around the world are beginning to implement what they're calling vaccine passports. Both their own citizens and tourists from other countries would have to have them. That's all in hopes of helping their economy recover more quickly. But as our Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon reports for us, here at home, federal governments, states, and those private industries are at odds over the issue.
As Americans dream about summer travel, concerts, and sporting events, some wonder if those things will require proof of vaccination.
The government is not now, nor will we be supporting a system that requires Americans to carry a credential.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the federal government will not track or require things like vaccine passports. But the White House acknowledges the private sector is moving in that direction. Some governors are banning state or taxpayer-funded agencies from implementing vaccine passports. But Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says he won't allow them in the private sector either.
It's completely unacceptable for either the government or the private sector to impose upon you the requirement that you show proof of vaccine.
But it's unclear how Florida's ban would work because flights and cruises, for example, may be headed from that state to other countries that do require tourists be vaccinated. The travel industry in particular is showing support for vaccine passports.
Most people want to travel and they don't care if they have to show one more ID.
The White House says it will help provide guidance.
That provides important answers to questions that Americans have, in particular around concerns about privacy, security, or discrimination.
In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
And on the vaccination front, it's a mass vaccine clinic that was happening at Dick's Sporting Goods in Colorado all of a sudden comes to a halt. This is after 11 different people experienced adverse reactions after receiving their Johnson & Johnson vaccine. 2 were taken to nearby hospitals. This was all out of an abundance of caution, but in total about 1,700 people received that vaccine at that event on Wednesday before the closure. The state tells us 11 people experienced symptoms like nausea and dizziness. I've heard of that. And the CDC says a severe and immediate reaction to Johnson & Johnson typically includes a few things: difficulty breathing, swelling of the face and throat, a fast heartbeat, dizziness and weakness like what happened in Colorado. But nationally, more than 4.5 million people have received that Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and the CDC right now confirms that only about 129 of them have had severe reactions. Those people went to the emergency room or their doctor's office. We're told 640 people who were scheduled to get that vaccine missed out because of the sudden closure, but they have been rescheduled Sunday with a different type of vaccine. They're getting the one I got. They're getting the Pfizer shot. Hopefully it works out for you guys. Okay, guys, this is an interesting story in the South. After struggling with fertility, 2 Louisiana deputies welcomed 2 sons into this world, but tragically, this couple lost both of them, one in 2016 and another in 2020. Now they're searching for someone to help them start a family they've been longing for. Anna McAllister has that story for us.
Everything he's been through and overcame, as sick as he was and been, he's up and down, you would never know because he was the happiest kid.
Despite spending most of his life in a hospital bed, Trek Fucci's parents say his contagious smile and cheerful giggle could light up any room. Nurses would come just to visit him. They'd stand at the door and be like, "Hey, Trek," and he'd light up and talk, and he was just so happy and smiley, and he was full of love. Trek was Nicole and Mark Fucci's second son and miracle baby. The couple met at the Jefferson Parish Police Academy in 2009 and soon after got married. They struggled with fertility for years, but through in vitro fertilization, Nicole got pregnant with their first son, Grayson, in 2016. Tragically, the happiest time of their lives took an unexpected turn.
He was born 3 months premature. And he passed away on Christmas Eve of 2016 due to sepsis.
While grieving the loss of Grayson, the Fuccis knew they still wanted to have children, but Nicole was unable to carry. That's when Felicia Allier, a dispatcher at the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, said she would carry Trek. But things took another shocking turn when Trek was born.
We were completely blindsided by it, but he had 6 heart defects, and he had a lymphatic system malformation.
So after receiving treatment in New Orleans, Trek was treated at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, where he would receive more than 100 surgeries.
What are you doing today?
Despite putting up an unimaginable fight, Trek passed away on December 18th, 2020, the same day the Fucci's first son, Grayson, was born. As the Fucci's continue to mourn the loss of their sons, they're desperately searching for a gestational carrier, someone who can carry their child full term.
We'll never be ready to move on, but we're not getting any younger, and our goal is to have a family.
And in order for the Fucci's dream of a family to come true, they need to rely on a woman who can help them make it happen.
From a woman to woman, mother to mother, they know. I don't know how else to put it. They know that feeling, especially when you struggle for so long.
Oh, my heart breaks for that family. But according to Louisiana law, in order to become a gestational carrier, you have to be a woman between the age of 25 or 35 and have at least one child, and you must live within the state. Oh, I hope they can find that. What an amazing family. Well, guys, let's turn to this story. They always say, cats, they have 9 lives, but one cat named Sinatra probably has already used a few of them. He got lost after his family's home was destroyed by Hurricane Michael, but 2.5 years later, can you believe it? He found his way home. Joylyn Bukovac has that story for us.
He could talk. I wish he could tell us what he's been doing for 2 years.
Robin Vaughn and her wife, Angela Brown, are both from the Tri-State, but they moved to Panama City 6 years ago. October 10th, 2018, they found themselves braving Hurricane Michael.
We were in a zone that was told not to evacuate the day before, and about 2 hours before it made landfall, we all knew it was going to be really bad.
The house they were renting was destroyed. Their family was trapped inside the home for days.
Finally, some kind people cut through the trees, and we were able to get out after 4 days.
They eventually made it to Clay, Kentucky and Evansville, Indiana to be with family.
And that's where we put our fur babies.
Vaughn says they left their dogs and cats with her wife's daughter, who had a house in Evansville at the time.
And her daughter, a few days after Sinatra was there, had opened the door and he got out. So he wasn't familiar with that neighborhood, and they looked for him.
Even after they went back home to Florida, people were still looking for Sinatra.
So this went on for days and days and days that turned into weeks, that turned into months.
They thought Sinatra was microchipped when he was neutered, but it turns out the vet forgot. But Brown wouldn't give up hope. She would post on Facebook and even had people looking for the cat.
There was a lot of false hope because, we'd get our hopes up when somebody would find a cat that would look like him, and then we'd check it to every detail, and it wouldn't be him. And it just broke my heart to see her cry and to see our son, who Sinatra was his best friend.
Linda Walker from Another Chance for Animals found Sinatra more than 2 years after he went missing.
She found him just a couple of miles from where that home where he was originally lost. By the grace of God and some good folks in Evansville, Indiana, we got him home. Say, hey, I'm glad to be home.
I love that video. Joylyn Bukovac joining us now. And Joylyn, I got to ask, don't you wonder what the cat would have to say to tell us about the journey?
That must have been one long journey. But it seems like he didn't wander off too far because, as we mentioned, he was found just a few miles away from that house, that family member's house, that he ran out the back door of. So yeah, he was probably, there's a lot of businesses in that area too, and a lot of heavily traveled roads. So I'm sure he was scared, and it was probably really hard to spot him for those 2 years. Plus, that family member that he was staying with, they moved shortly after he went missing. So he was probably so confused. Even if he found his way back to that house, that family wasn't living there anymore.
Yeah, in 2.5 years, Joylyn, I want you to talk about that family's fight to find the cat. They never gave up because it had no microchip, so they had to keep fighting. Talk about the methods they went through to try and find Sinatra.
Yeah, they had so many obstacles working against them to find Sinatra. Like you said, he wasn't microchipped. It comes to find out, the vet said that they forgot to microchip him just because whenever he got neutered, that surgery was so complicated that they completely forgot. And so they really reached out to people on social media. There's a lot of groups in the area for lost pets. And so, Robin Vaughn and her wife, they were reaching out to people on social media, and a lot of people were looking for Sinatra. Another Chance for Animals, an animal rescue here in town, some people from there, they were looking for him, and Linda Walker from Another Chance for Animals ended up finding him 2 years afterwards. But even then, she found Sinatra right after Thanksgiving, and even after that, the family came down around Christmas time to see Sinatra, and they said they knew that was their cat, but whenever they took him to the vet said, you know what, this is a female cat, so they ended up not even taking him home around Christmas, thinking it was the wrong cat. But, you know, Robin Vaughn's wife, she did not give up. She went to the vet back in Florida, and she found that in some documents, it was said that due to a medical condition, he would appear to be female. So then they knew that was, in fact, Sinatra. They knew all along, so they went and got him over spring break not too long ago. So it was a very long journey to find him, and they had so many forces working against them, as I said, but he is bouncing back. Apparently, he's in his normal routine. They have other pets as well. They have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and they spread out their food, and they said once they brought Sinatra home to Florida, even though he was gone for 2.5 years now, he went straight to their laundry room where they usually feed him, just, you know, saying, "Where's my food? I'm ready to be home." And he is about the same, they said, except for he lost some weight, and now he's as lovable as ever, and he's not letting them out of his sight. So.
They need to fatten that cat up, give him like a 4-course meal. We are happy that Sinatra's back with that family. Joylyn, thanks so much for joining us, and we are happy that Sinatra is back and happy. They better hold on tight to him. You don't want him getting away. Well, guys, before we go, this is a story out of where the show's based, Arkansas. I love this. A first grader here is gaining some national attention after she asked Old Navy to make girl jeans with some real pockets. You know, when you go to put your hands in there and there are no pockets. I hate that too. It was all a part of a school assignment at Evening Star Elementary that required 7-year-old Cameron Gardner to write a persuasive essay. So she decided, hey, I'm going to ask Old Navy to consider making those front pockets actually real pockets, because she says they were all fake. Cameron's words obviously pretty powerful considering Old Navy actually responded. And guess what? They threw in a little gift too. Check it out. They sent her 4 pairs of jeans with real pockets. I'm with her. I get it. I hate the fake pockets. Sometimes you got to put like your phone, your hands. You just want to look cool in pictures. Come on. Well, thanks so much for joining us for Newsfeed Now. Make sure you join us tomorrow, Friday, to start your weekend off right. We're going to be talking about all of those top trending stories. And if you see one, you can tweet me, you can Facebook me, you can email me. However you want to get the story to me, let me know and we'll get it on the show. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye, guys.